What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Hope you are having a freaking awesome day so far. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a PC that I got in a bundle of 13 for $150. I don't know what's in this thing. I can't wait to see. Let's freaking get into it. Alright, you guys, so this is our PC in question. First impressions, obviously, we have cables hanging out everywhere. That's because we do not have a side panel for this case. Aside from that, the case is not too bad. We got a little bit of dust going on here and there. We have a sticker that needs to be removed, but nothing too crazy. Going around to the inside, it's a little bit dusty, but again, not too bad at all. We do have one single DIMM of Forza RAM. I'm not sure the size of it, but it does look like this is a DDR4 system. We do have an Asus B150 M-C motherboard. I'm assuming that this is probably going to be some kind of 6th gen i5 or i7, but regardless, not bad at all. So we're going to go ahead, get this thing hooked up, and see if we can get a post. Alright, so we got this thing all nice and hooked up. We have our keyboard, our mouse. Let's go ahead and see if we can at least get some picture on the screen and see what kind of specs it is that we're working with here. Alright, so we do have fans spinning up. But do we get picture on the screen? And we get picture on the frickin' screen. Let's go. Let's see if we can get into the BIOS here, folks. Alright, and we are into the BIOS, and it looks like we're dealing with an i7 6700. That is an amazing CPU, not freaking bad at all. Looks like we're dealing with 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM. Again, not bad. So when it comes to the CPU, we are looking at 4 cores, 8 threads, not bad. This is a 6th gen i7. It has a max turbo frequency of right around 4 gigahertz, and then we have our base frequency right around 3.4. Definitely not a bad CPU at all. It does run at 65 watts. It does support up to 64 gigs of DDR4 2133 RAM, which is also, it's not the greatest, but, for an entry-level build, it's definitely not bad. In terms of age for the CPU, this thing came out all the way back in 2015. So it's definitely getting quite old, considering what kind of performance we have today. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get this thing unhooked, we're going to tear this thing apart, see what kind of PSU we're working with, and see how crusty and dusty our internals are. Alright, you guys, so we got this thing laid down on our operating table, and I cannot deny the fact of how clean this thing looks. Just look at our motherboard here. Even our cooler has minimal dust. The only thing that has a little bit of dust here and there is our PSU. Again, it's not that bad at all. So I'm going to get you guys set up. We're going to get this thing apart. We're going to see what our thermal paste looks like, and then we're going to go from there. I can't wait to show you guys the upgrades that I plan on putting in this old gal. Alright, so I got you guys all set up. Let's go ahead. Let's start getting everything disconnected, get our screws out of here, get this thing out of here, and see what else we can't find inside this thing. Alright, so we got this thing all taken apart, and man, this thing, it does look incredibly good. There's definitely minimal dust on here, not bad at all. I will be going ahead, taking off the cooler, replacing our thermal paste, and we're definitely be losing this kit of RAM and replacing it with something much better. Let's go ahead and take a look at our PSU. So when it comes to our PSU, it's got a little bit of dust buildup, nothing too crazy, that should be easy to clean. But if you take a look, you'll see that we have an EVGA 400 watt PSU. Not bad. Sorry if it's upside down for you guys, but we'll go ahead and set this off to the side and take a look at our case. So taking a look at our case here, it's in relatively good shape. This case is made by Zalman. Never really worked with this particular brand before, but overall, not bad. Build quality is definitely not the greatest. Coming around to the inside here, we definitely have a little bit of rust going on the very bottom here. That's quite unfortunate. Hopefully I can get some of that out of there, but typically that's a real pain in the ass to get out. So, but yeah, the case is not bad at all. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to move on to what we plan on upgrading this thing with. I can't wait to show you guys. Alright, so first up is our GPU. This is an ASRock RX 5500 XT. This is a 4 gig card. This thing performs freaking amazing. This is such a good budget card. Next up is our RAM. We're going to be going with Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro. This does run at 3000 megahertz. Definitely not bad. Unfortunately, our CPU only supports 2133 megahertz, but we should be perfectly fine. Definitely going to be a huge improvement over what was in that before, which was the Neo Forza, which was one 8 gig stick. And as previously stated, to me, this is crap. I've used these before. They have a high failure rate. Let me know in the comments below your experience with Neo Forza if you've ever used it before. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead, get everything cleaned up, get everything back into the case. When I come back, we're going to be ready to retest. Alright you guys, we got this thing all back together and she looks absolutely stunning. This thing looks so much freaking better. Still not a huge fan of the case, but all cleaned up. It looks alright. It might grow on me a little bit. One thing that I would like to note that I forgot to mention earlier in the video was I did go ahead and switch the orientation of our power supply here. It was upside down. You never want that fan pointing up. But this thing looks freaking awesome. So let's go ahead, let's power this thing on. Let's see if we can get it to post. I do have our SSD installed. Let's see if it's going to load into Windows. Alright, so we do got our fan spinning up. Got our dim lighting up there. Hopefully there's not an issue with this kit of RAM. I feel like both of them should be lighting up. And we got a picture on the screen. Is it going to load into Windows? And there we are. We are loaded into Windows. So I got a bunch of games installed for you guys. We're going to go ahead. We're going to see what this thing can do. Let's freaking go. Just a quick little note before we get into the games. I did go ahead and download the iQ app for our Corsair RAM here, and they are both lighting up super pretty like. So let's go ahead, let's see again what this thing can do. Well, I was definitely hoping for a little bit better performance, but honestly not that bad for a 6th gen i7. It definitely did get a little bit hot, and I did notice stutters here and there, but otherwise, most of the games were playable. The only one that I would say is a little bit questionable is Ready or Not, because there was some stutters and a little bit of lag here and there. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. These are so fun to do. If you like what you saw, like, sub, share. If I didn't earn your subscription this time, I'm definitely going to make it a point to earn it next time. Until next time, you guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe in the world.